Hi, this is Lavanya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. Now I am here with a topic of automated planning. In that we are going to see about the planning graph. Both or comes from the artificial intelligence courses. The first one, planning graph. A planning graph or a fundamental concept in the field of artificial intelligence, particularly in automated planning. They are used to represent and reason about the state of a dynamic world and the actions that can be taken to achieve specific goals. Planning graphs provide a visual and computational frameworks for solving planning problems which involve finding sequence of actions that lead from an initial stage to a desired goal state. Key concepts: state space representation. A planning graph represents the possible states of a world in terms of relevant attributes. These attributes could include the position of objects, their properties, and any other information that categorizes the state of the world. Actions. Actions are the operations that can be applied to change the state of the world. Each action has preconditions, the conditions that must be true for the action to be applicable, and effects, conditions that become true or false after the actions. Next one, it is a level. A planning graph is divided into a levels, which each level representing the state of the world at a specific time step. The initial state is typically represented at a level 0, and subsequent levels represents the potential states resulting from applying actions. Next one, fact layer. Each level in the planning graph consists of a fact layer which represents the state of the world using propositional logic. Each fact is a Boolean proposition that can be true or false in the corresponding state. Next, it is an action layer. Alongside the fact layer, there are an action layers that represents the actions that can be applied. An action is included in a layer if it is preconditions are satisfied by the facts in the previous layer. How can we construct a planning graph? Initially, start with the initial state of the world, represented as a fact in the initial fact layer, that is level 0. Expansion, iteratively expanding the graph by generating subsequent fact layers and action layers to construct the next fact layers. Include facts that can be achieved by applying actions from the previous action layer, considering their effects. Termination, continue expanding the graph until the goal facts are reachable in the facts layers. The last fact layer containing the goal facts indicates a valid plan if the preconditions of the goal facts are satisfied by previous fact layers. Next one, it is a graph pruning. As the graph grows, it might become complex and computationally expensive to work with. Various techniques such as mutex relation, that is mutually exclusive conditions, and relaxed planning graph heuristics can be employed to prune irrelevant or redundant parts of the graph, focusing on the most promising parts to the goal. Advantages of the planning graphs are visualization, efficient search, heuristic estimation. Visualization, the planning graphs provides a visual representation of the planning problem, making it easier to understand the relationship between states, actions, and goals. A second advantage, it is an efficient search. Planning graphs allow for efficient exploration of possible states and actions, helping to identify a plan more efficiently than brute force search. A third advantage of the planning graph, it is an heuristic estimation. A planning graphs can be used to develop heuristics that estimate the number of actions required to achieve a goal, aiding in search based. Finally, summary of this planning graph, it is a powerful tool in the field of automated planning, helping AI system reason about and solve complex planning problem by representing states, actions, and their interrelationships in a structured and organized manner. Next, we are going to see about an example of the planning graph. Certainly, let's illustrates the concept of planning graph using a simple example of planning to eat a piece of cake. A scenario here it is in, you have a delicious cake and your goal is to eat a piece of it. To achieve this, you need to go through a series of steps. The actions here, let's define the two actions. The first one, cut the cake. This action involves cutting the cake into pieces. A second action, it will be eat piece. This action involves eating a piece of the cake. So initial state here it is a cake is full. It has not been cut. So no pieces of cake have been eaten in the initial state. What is the goal state here? It is you have eaten a piece of cake. So this is a scenario, initial state and our goal state. The planning graph constructions. It starts with the initial state, that is level 0. The cake is whole. So no pieces have been eaten. Level 1, that is action layer. What the action we have taken here in the level 1, it is cake cut or cut cake on. In level 2, it is a fact layer. The cake is whole, the cake is cut. The effect of that, it is cut cake action. The level 3, that is action layer. The action here it is an eat piece. The fourth layer, it is a fact layer. Cake is whole because we have not performed the cut cake yet, so cake remains uncut. Cake piece is eaten, the effect of the eat piece action. So this will show you the planning graph visualization at level 0, that is initial state. The cake is whole, no pieces eaten. In level 1, cake has been cut. In level 2, cake is whole, cake is cut off. Level 3, after the cake has been cut, we have eaten the piece. The level 4, the cake is whole, cake piece is eaten. So this will be the planning graph visualization. For example of given. So plan execution here it is based on the constructed planning graph. The plan to eat a piece of cake is as follows. Cut the cake, eat a piece of cake. In this simplified example, the planning graph illustrates the sequence of actions required to achieve the goal of eating a piece of cake. As the graph shows, first you need to cut a cake, and once it's cut, you can proceed to eat a piece of cake. With this, I am concluding about a planning graph with a simple example. Thank you for your patience listening. For upcoming videos in artificial intelligence in case study as well as the automated planning, I am expecting your support for my artificial intelligence videos. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you once again.